Well, howdy gang, it's Thursday the 17th of May 2018 and this is your EV News Daily. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Wherever you're listening around the world, a very warm welcome from London in the UK. Here is today's news about electric cars and the future of transport. My name is Martin Lee and I go through every EV article online so you don't have to. Coming up on the show today, a Tesla 6-day shutdown confirmed for the end of May and the base level Nissan Leaf no longer on offer. But first of all, reviews are coming in for the Porsche Cayenne E-Hybrid ahead of the move to the legendary Porsche 911 to electrified power. So whether purists like it or not, battery power is here to stay in the Porsche range. Well, Evo has been my go-to magazine for performance car reviews for many years now, and they are impressed. They say there are now 4 driving modes to choose from. Full electric, first of all, that's e-power. Hybrid Auto, Sport, and Sport Plus, all of which can be selected via the same rotational switch fitted to the steering wheel of Porsche's range of sports cars. Well, the default mode on startup apparently is full electric, so you turn on your Porsche Cayenne E-Hybrid and you're already in electric mode. That gives you a range of between 14 and 27 miles on a full charge. That is up from 22 miles with a full charge taking around 8 hours if you just plug it in at home. Well, switch that little controller to hybrid mode and the Cayenne will adapt its use of the powertrain to suit the driving style of whoever's behind the wheel, switching between full electric and petrol-electric as and when it needs to, with an uncanny smoothness, say Evo. And of course, there's also the Sport and the Sport Plus mode, which give you the maximum performance, but are going to eat into your battery range pretty quickly. Now, as for its environmental credentials, there's no good case to be made for a large gas-burning SUV to be an environmental car, but they say the Cayenne E-Hybrid returns a theoretical 88 miles per gallon on the combined cycle, whilst emitting 72 grams per kilometre of CO2. That puts it 3 grams per kilometre under the free congestion charge limit. So an interesting way that Porsche are getting into electrification ahead of some of their faster cars, like the 911, a little bit further down the line. Well, we know the Model 3 production line shutdowns are coming. We heard that from Elon himself on the earnings call, and now we have some more details. Tesla will pause production at its California factory for 6 days at the end of May to improve the Model 3 assembly line, says inside sources, 2 of them, which Reuters claim have spoken to them. So far, we've seen shutdowns in February and then again in April to upgrade the factory, both of which were followed with step changes in Model 3 production numbers. Now, Elon Musk has said the planned stoppages will give the company time to perform upgrades to help reach the goal of 6,000 vehicles per week by the end of June. And some rumours coming out of Tesla only in the last couple of hours. I've just seen it on Twitter about a burst rate production that was very high indeed, well above 500 per day. People start extrapolating that out into being, well, you know, if it was almost 700 per day, over 7 days, what could that be? But we'll wait just to see. As rumours as far as I can see, a couple more of the more reliable news sources pick up on that and dig into it, and we'll have a look. One of the great sources that I like to look at, by the way, is Pedro over at Push EVs, and this story is about the Nissan Leaf, and Pedro's noticed something on the European Nissan websites, at least in Portugal, Spain and France. You can no longer order the entry-level Visia of the Nissan Leaf, he says, with fewer trim levels to choose from. Production complexity and costs are therefore reduced. No need to waste time and resources to produce a trim level that customers don't want anyway. Now, the Accenta, or Accenta, however you'd had used to say it, has always been the most popular trim level on the Nissan Leaf, and it's now the entry-level trim. I see this as good news. Furthermore, Nissan is not only adjusting the trim levels, but also the prices. Let's see the evolution in Portugal, he says, and I can confirm that. I was looking at the Nissan UK site yesterday, and I can confirm that the Accenta, or Accenta, base model is now the cheapest one you can buy. No sign of anything Visia, although to be honest, although I've taken a huge interest in the Nissan Leaf, the new Nissan Leaf, and reported a lot about it on the podcast, I never actually took screenshots over the weeks and months from pre-orders and orders and all those kind of things. I'm going to start doing that to capture different websites in different states of being. So I don't actually know what their website would have said 1 month ago, 3 months ago, for instance. However, that base model is £25,190. The N connector is the middle one now, and that adds your round view monitor, those heated seats, the 17-inch alloy wheels, privacy glass, and electric door mirrors, starting at £26,890. And you can go up one more step to the very top Tecna model. That'll add ProPilot Assist, the Bose Premium Audio, leather front and rear heated seats, full LED auto headlights, and the electronic parking brake from £28,390. They all, of course, regardless of spec, come with the brilliant e-pedal technology. Well, moving on, and technology being abused, I would say, in this story, regardless of whether you think Autopilot is a good name or not for Tesla's driving assist technology, which, let's face it, that's all it is, implying it does more than it actually does by calling it Autopilot, at least with the general public, I think, assuming it does everything for you. It's full level 4-5 autonomy, right? They do make it as idiot-proof as possible. You are required to keep your hands on the steering wheel when it deems assistance is necessary, and if you don't, you know that Teslas give you a visual warning on the dashboard, followed by an audible one, and if you don't respond, the car comes to a stop, presuming you are ill. Or I could say, sick. And if you buy this next product, I think you're sick, but in a different way. What if you could avoid all of that need for things like, safety of a 2-ton fast-moving lump of metal when you're on the road with other people? What about if you didn't have to put your hands back on the wheel? That's exactly what one idiot/team of idiots thought up, and then decided to design a product and sell it to other idiots to buy. They've called it Autopilot Buddy. It's going to run you $179, and it's a magnetic plastic piece that is shaped in just the right moulding that attaches to your steering wheel in your Tesla, and it fools the car into thinking your hands are placed on just the right part of the steering wheel. Now, there's really nothing stopping you from changing seats whilst you're in autopilot with this device. Yes, someone was recently caught in the UK moving into the passenger seat and then banned for driving. You could even make some YouTube videos of you hanging out of the passenger window. Yes, someone's done that as well, although not with this device, just with autopilot turned on. Well, Autopilot Buddy says this on their website: Tesla owners were searching for ways to hack the autopilot or extend the autopilot features without voiding the warranty. Autopilot Buddy allows early adopters to once again enjoy autopilot for longer durations by reducing or turning off the autopilot check-in warning. Well, that's what their website says. There's a bunch of disclaimers for legal reasons, of course. If they didn't put them on there, they would have their backsides sued. I'm not sure how far you'd get. Judging from the website, they only have a Gmail address to contact them on, so you could sue them, but I'm not sure how far you'd get before they went broke. It's the kind of thing that, if you thought it, why would you put this into production? It's only designed to make the buyers of the product ultimately less attentive at the wheel, therefore reducing safety, therefore putting all other road users at risk. They should not be allowed to sell this. And you certainly shouldn't buy one, by the way, obviously. Right, moving on, and getting a Tesla internship is a dream for many engineering students. But what about when you spot something critical in the Model 3 process, which then improves production? In this case, well, it lands you a job from Elon Musk, according to Matthew Lane, one of the interns. Speaking on CBC Radio, he said this, and I quote, "Essentially, it was a gating problem with the Model 3 production ramp. What had happened was we saw an opportunity to solve the problem. We came up with our own idea, and we actually sort of crashed the meeting with Elon himself and presented the idea. After speaking with him and one of his VPs, Doug Field, they essentially said, this is a good idea, but here's the problem we're facing right now, so you guys go talk with us." And it snowballed from there, says Matthew. Well, his partner, his other intern at Tesla, Mark Como, said this: about a month and a half after that, we'd worked on the issue, bought things online, and then literally at 10 a.m. Monday morning, the week after we're finished, we receive a message saying, hey, head to Nevada, to the Gigafactory. And a 5-hour car journey later, we have arrived at Nevada with the whole situation and a whole new set of problems to address. Elon is the type of CEO that is really hands-on on the factory floor. He's not one of those that sits on an ivory tower and gets reports. He's actually on the line. He sees the issues for himself in person and seeing what contributions people are making and what the issues are. He doesn't like to hear things second-hand. He likes everything first-hand. Well, Mark says, so this issue had caused some delays with the production. So, of course, it was one thing that was always on his radar. And once we'd figured it out and got it up and running, he came by and he had us walk through it with him. It's probably one of the most unnerving experiences ever because he's the CEO of the company and we were just two interns, says Mark. And he basically said, yep, you've got to stay. One of them has landed the job straight away, heading up projects. The other one's going to finish off a semester and then join Tesla. That is the dream. Well, Nissan's solar and battery storage system is now available to buy for homeowners across the UK. According to Energy Live News, consumers can choose to buy either new or second life batteries from Nissan EVs. The firm adds these will be used to give increased independence from the national grid and electricity suppliers, as well as the ability to generate, store and manage energy for use overnight. The cost of the solar and storage package from Nissan is £3,881. That's just over $5,000, I guess. I'm doing some very, very rough conversions in my head. However, Nissan, just like Tesla, thinking a lot about not just making cars, but the future of energy. Indeed, something that Mercedes thought they could get into and then recently pulled out of making their home battery storage systems. Nissan moving forward with theirs. Well, I would love to spread the word about electric cars. If you can, how about sharing the podcast with somebody who might be interested? Well, you can listen to every previous episode of the podcast. If you have a certain interest in certain subjects, have a little flick back through and download the ones you might be interested in looking at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio podcasts, and they're all on the blog at evnewsdaily.com. If you subscribe, you get them first and free and automatically. And if you could take just 2 minutes to rate and review, you know how much that helps out the algorithms in terms of promoting the podcast further up those charts. Well, come and say hi on Facebook, LinkedIn and Twitter by searching EV News Daily. And have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you tomorrow.